Hello, my darlings. It's Wednesday, the 5th of February. Yep, still. Just thought I'd better just check that. Well, as many of you know or may not know, at the moment I am dealing with my friend who's dying and is in end of life care now. And my friend stopped eating and is sleeping an awful lot and is still drinking, but he's not himself, and it won't be long, sadly. And it brings me to a very important subject: death. Nobody really talks about it, but we're all going to be facing it one day. Maybe it be a member of our family, maybe it will be a friend, and let's face it, they're our family. And maybe it will be your own death, and it's how you deal with it. And it's hard. Dealing with death is so very difficult. There's shock, of course, there's grief, there's anger. I think they call it the 7 steps or the 7 layers of grief or death, of something that happens to you anyway. But from my point of view, dealing with death, it's sometimes easier to prepare when it's a process, and sometimes when it's incredibly sudden, because I've experienced both. The shock can be devastating. It really can. And it's still devastating even when we're leading up to the actual death. And this is not just aimed at my generation and the older generation, and it's also aimed for the younger generation, because death comes whenever it wants. It doesn't give any warning, and it's the people that are left behind that are dealing with everything that gets thrown up in the air, because that's what death does. It's the same as arriving on the planet as leaving. Everyone is, even though they know it's happening, are still shocked and surprised. And it's a hard process. It's a really hard process. I'm finding it difficult, and I know that I will miss this person deeply when they have gone. I will miss their joyful face and their happy little stories that they would tell me, and in general I will just miss them. And I can't define the one thing about this person that I will miss the most. I will miss everything, and it's incredibly difficult for what has been facing all of us. And I knew 2025 was going to be a tough year, but I didn't realise just how tough. And we're starting it with death, the birth of a new year, and I'm facing death. And that's why it's so very important to spend the time that you have very wisely. Sometimes we do, sometimes we waste time. I'm not saying that you have to make every second count, and life, as John Lennon said, life is what happens whilst we're busy making other plans. And it's so easy to get bogged down with your job and raising a family and being somebody's husband or wife, being the dutiful daughter, being the ever loving and providing mother. And at the end of the day, you're just sometimes plain worn out. You really are, and there's nothing left for you to give. And a lot of mums feel that way, as do dads, as does anybody really. And sometimes we forget that the point of being on the planet isn't to work ourselves to death. It's to remember to do the things that make you happy. And keep doing that. Keep doing the things that make you happy. If you sat there bawling your eyes out every time you do it, as a bit of a suggestion, maybe that's skydiving's not for you, or something along those lines, If you sat there crying your heart out every time you do it, find something else, right? Because it's clearly not working. Okay? And that goes with anything in life. If you feel despondent and to the point that you can't do it any longer, the chances are it's a sign, everybody. Not a road sign, it's an actual sign from the heavens. You should be doing something different with your time. Do things that bring you intense joy and happiness. Because this isn't a rehearsal, folks. This is the real deal. And you are going to have to, at some point, accept that you've probably got less in front of you than you do behind you. And if you want to do these things, now's good. Now's really good, because you might not have tomorrow. And that's what death is. Death is final. Death is over. Death means no more chances, no more ability to do things that you love, see people that you love, be with the ones that you love. It's a terrible end of you, and you're into nothingness, and you'll never be able to pick up that book again, or paint that picture, or take a photograph, or go for that long walk, or eat the cake, or drink the wine, or have that Coca-Cola. It's over too soon. I don't think we get enough time. We don't. Time's precious. Don't waste it on things that are meaningless. Don't waste your time on people that don't appreciate or love you. Don't waste your time trying to be all things to all people, because you won't be. Just be enough for the ones that matter. Because everybody will want a slice of your time, and they won't appreciate you. Just find the time for you sometime. Because your life is so short, and it's filled with every possible emotion going. And when you have to say goodbye to somebody, and it's the final goodbye, oh, good Lord, it's hard. It's so hard. Because you'll never get to tell them that you love them ever again. You won't be able to hold their hand. Don't waste your life doing things that don't matter. Don't waste your time on those that don't appreciate you. And if that hobby's making you cry your eyes out every time you do it, find something new. Okay? It's not an easy thing dealing with death. It really isn't. It is the hardest thing you will ever have to deal with in your life. It's even harder than having to do taxes. Although taxes and death, they do say it comes to us all. But reflecting on yourself when you're laid there at the end of it all, you won't be bothered by what possessions you had, or how much money you've got in your bank account, or what kind of car you drove. And it's true, none of those things are going to matter. You know what will matter? Is how will people remember me? And I hope people will remember me as a fun-loving, kind of crazy, incredibly sarcastic, wine-drinking, chocolate-eating fairy who had an answer for everything, including the question that nobody asked. And her sarcasm will live on in their minds long after my body is no longer on the planet. And I hope I brought them intense joy, curiosity, and love. I hope I brought you love. And I hope I was a good mother for my children. And I hope I gave them the very best start in life I could possibly have done. And I do look at my friend and I think, you are a really good father. And not just a good father, but a good stepfather as well, because you took on someone else's children and you were there for your children, and you had a funny, happy tale for every stage of their lives and every stage of your life. And I hope you had a fun time on the planet. And although there have been days that were tough and you've lost people that were close to you, I hope when you close your eyes for the last time that you know how much you were loved and how much you will be missed. And that's what death is. Death is wondering, was I good enough? Yes, mate, you were. You're one of the best. And you will be missed. And that's exactly what I've been dealing with at the beginning of this year. And remember, life is short, make it sweet, right? Don't waste time on things that don't matter. And smile and wave and say high five to everyone. And if they really matter to you, don't forget to tell them that you love them and give them a hug. You know, they might be surprised. But it's important that your loved ones know that you love them, and it's important that you know that your loved ones loved you, including the cat. Although I think our cat sometimes wonders what on earth has adopted him, and he looks at his family as if to say, well, of all the families I could have come to live with, I had to come and live with you. I think he's having a good time. At least I like to think he is. He keeps coming back to be fed, so I'm assuming that he's a happy little boy. Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of what I've been dealing with in the month of January, which means I've not been reading and doing as many things as I would have normally do for myself. But shall we say we're grieving at the moment, and it's been tough. It's been a tough start to the year. It really has. So remember, everyone, you're only on the planet for a very short time. Don't waste your life doing things that don't matter. Remember, pick up that book and read and do whatever makes you happy. And if you are reading any really good books at the moment, do let me know, because I would love to find the time to take a look at what you're reading. And you never know, I might actually enjoy them. Take care, my darlings, and happy readings and enjoy until next time. Take care. If you like what I do, you can always give me a thumbs up. If you really like what I do, you can always give me a follow. I appreciate you more than you realise. Take care, my darling.